Hello, my name's Matt Helms. I'm a captain for a major airline here in the United States. And due to recent contract provision changes, there are about 11,350 plus pilots at my airline that are out shopping for a brand new headset at little to no cost to them. So I reached out to both David Clark and Bose, and I asked them to send me their very best A&R headsets. And they both responded, and here they are. We've got 4 of the best headsets on the market, if not the best headsets on the market. 3 of these are brand new, and 1 is my old A20s that I've used for almost a decade and a half. Now, the purpose of this video is to go over a side-by-side comparison of these headsets. I have individual videos of the 2 David Clarks and the brand new Bose A30s, and you can look at those for detailed specifications. But this is just kind of a wrap-up, a side-by-side comparison. Now, let's go over price of these headsets. First, the Pro X2 right here, it's the cheapest, $745. Then you've got the DC-1X, that's the flagship model from David Clark, and that's $895, just call it $900. Then right here, this is your most expensive headset of the group. This is the brand new Bose A30, and that's going to run you $1,299, $1,300, the most expensive. And then if you can still purchase a brand new A20 from several different places, either Bose directly or other outlets. And right now that's running right about $1,095. You can find it a little bit cheaper, 10 or 20 bucks cheaper some places. So that's the price breakdown. So you know what you're getting for the money you're spending. Now, all of these headsets, they all have A&R capability that blocks 30 decibels of noise. They all have it. They all have Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth works just like every other Bluetooth headset you've ever used. So commonalities. They all have stereo mono settings. They all have an auto off setting. They all have a 5-year warranty. The batteries in these last between 45 and 50 hours for all of them. They all have crisp, clear communication suitable for the 737. So when you look at these 4 headsets, there's a lot of similarities. They have a lot of features in common with each other. Let's talk about some of the things that are a little bit different. Obviously, due to the nature of the headset, there's going to be a few things that are quite different. If we start with the Pro X2, this is, of course, your lightest headset of the group, and this is an on top of the ear headset. It's the lightest, most compact because of what it is. Of course, an over the ear headset is going to be bigger due to the build, but this is your lightest headset. 7.5 ounces, only 0.6 pounds of clamping force. Incredibly comfortable, incredibly small. Your heaviest is your DC-1X. This comes in at 12.3 ounces. This also has a listed clamping force of 1.4 pounds on your head. The Bose product, the A20 and the A30, both come in at 12 ounces. So just about 0.3 ounces lighter than the David Clark counterpart. They don't list what the clamping force is on this headset or the A20. What they say is between the A20 and the A30 has 20% less clamping force. The spring up here is not quite as robust. So you get a little bit less clamping force with this headset. Now, let's talk about the things that might be important to you. And headsets are all so individual to the operator and what they're looking for. And what might be important to you might not be important to someone else. So how do they sound? Let's talk about the noise reduction. How do they sound while using them? I had the opportunity to use all 4 of these in conjunction with each other. I would take one headset off, put another one on. I tested all 4 for about 2 months side by side. So the absolute quietest. If being the quietest headset is your top priority, that's your Bose A20. This is still the quietest headset. Made in 2010, but this is still the quietest headset of all of these. Now, it's the quietest by a very slim margin to its newer counterpart, but when you compare these two side by side, the A20 is still the quietest, which was a little bit of a surprise to me. Now, that could have a lot to do with the clamping force difference. This doesn't clamp down on your head as tightly as this, but it also may have to do with the type of A&R it uses. This is a digital A&R. It's a new system from Bose, and it just reads the sound a little bit differently. Now, as far as between the two newest headsets that are around the ear, the Bose A30 is still quieter than the David Clark 1X. And this also is by a very slim margin. Only if you take one headset off and immediately put on the other headset do you notice the difference. The DC1X has a little bit more high resonance, almost wind noise that you hear just a little bit more than its A30. The noisiest of the bunch, by no surprise, is your Pro X2. It doesn't go around the ear. You don't get that passive noise cancellation, but it's also the lightest. So what's important to you, right? But this is the noisiest headset. You get a bit more wind noise. The A&R works beautifully. It's still perfectly suitable for flying a 737, but it is the noisiest of the group. Comfort-wise, what's the most comfortable headset? Well, this is also completely subjective. In my mind, it's the DC1X. They have a super great ear seal. It's got a really thick memory foam. It's got a great Everlast headband. It's light. It's 12.3 ounces versus just 12 ounces on the Bose. But this is the most comfortable headset I've ever worn. I said that in my review earlier, and that still stands. And like I said, it's subjective. I'm used to having an around-the-ear headset. So for my money, this is the most comfortable. Coming in second, the Pro X2. It's so lightweight, and there's almost no clamping force. I did find a little bit of discomfort on my ear after long flights because it was pressing on my ear, not around my ear. But this is the second most comfortable headset. Both the Bose products use the exact same ear seal. There was no upgrade in the ear seal to the A30 from the A20. That's a little bit of a disappointment in my mind, but it's the exact same ear cup. So the comfort on both of these, there's a little bit less clamping force here, but as far as how it wears on your head, especially this A20 when I put on this aftermarket head pad, the comfort on both of those is about the same. How do they perform when you're using your sunglasses or readers? Of course, the Pro X2 is the champion here in that regard because your sunglasses or readers don't go between the headset and your ear. They rest on top of the ear cup here, and there's absolutely no change in A&R. You don't shift the headset at all. The ease of use for sunglasses and readers with the Pro X2, it's almost like you're not wearing a headset. So this is the champion. In second place, you're going to have your DC1X. Because of how thick the ear cup pad is, whenever you put on, especially something like a Ray-Ban or a Serengeti, there's no reduction in the sound quality of the A&R. Thicker readers, you do get an A&R break, but this still performs better than its counterparts with sunglasses. Almost any sunglass frame that I used broke the A&R to some degree in the Bose product. So whenever you put on even thin Ray-Bans or Serengetis, it still broke the A&R just a little bit. With readers, the break was significant. And you can kind of tell on my old worn out ear cups how it's been worn at the very front, but also the back of the ear cup. That's because the size of the pad here is a little bit small, and the front of the frame of the sunglasses would hit the front, and the back of the sunglasses would hit the back. In the David Clark product, I didn't notice that. The back of my sunglasses didn't hit the back of the pad. So very comfortable when using your sunglasses. Build quality. Which one of these is built the best? That's tough to say when you haven't used a product for a really long time. So this is kind of an initial perception of build quality on my part. And I have to give the nod to the David Clark product. And here's why. They have a metal frame. It is an alloy, but it is built, and I said this in my review, it's built like a tank. I don't think you're going to break this frame or a component on a David Clark headset unless you abuse it. I think that this is going to give you, a career's worth of use without you breaking it. I can't say what the electronics, the buttons on this might do. That's kind of a hard thing to say unless you have thousands of hours of use. But just the initial impression, having used these for a couple of months, is you're never going to break a David Clark. Now, obviously, I've used these A20s for a decade and a half. I've had to turn them in for repairs 4 different occasions. Now that's after almost 10,000 hours of use. Still a high quality product, but you've got a little bit of metal in the frame. The rest of it is just plastic. So my initial judgment is that it's easier to break a piece of plastic than it is an alloy metal. So build quality, that's where I stand with that. The cord on each of these. The A20 has a horrible cord. It's thick, it's in the way, it pulls on the headset. I hate the cord of the A20. All of the other headsets have improved their cord. They're super thin, super flexible. So there's really no difference between the Bose and the David Clark cords on the newer models. The A20, it's a horrible cord. How compact are these headsets? The king is the Pro X2. You could almost fit that in your pocket. It's super small, super lightweight. Second place, of course, is your David Clark 1X. Packs up to almost nothing as well. Compared to your Bose counterpart, these just don't pack up very tightly. It's their design. Nothing you can do about that. But if you're looking for something that's super compact, it's one of your 2 David Clark products. They did a really great job with this. And in conjunction with how tightly they pack up, the bags are equally sized. Super small bag for the David Clark, a bit of a larger bag for the Bose. Very protective, both of them, but that's your size difference that you're going to have to cram into your flight bag. And also night mode. This is a hot button topic for me. I fly mostly PMs. So the nighttime mode, in other words, your LED lights that flash on these headsets can sometimes be bright in the cockpit and annoying. And what manufacturer has taken care of that product? First of all, the Bose A20. Super bright LEDs, and it does not have a night mode. You have to get a piece of tape or a Sharpie to kind of blot out that LED. There's nothing you can do about it unless you block the light. No night mode, 0 points. When I go to both of the David Clark products, they do have a nighttime mode, but only the power button doesn't illuminate in their nighttime mode. Their Bluetooth button still illuminates at night and can be a little bit bothersome. So David Clark, good try. You almost did it right, but because you didn't block out both of those lights, only about half a point. The A30s did it right. Super small LEDs on your panel or your control module. They have an ability to decrease the intensity by 1/2 or turn it off completely so you don't have any lights flashing at night at all. Bose did it right. 100 points for Bose. Really good nighttime mode, if that's something that is important to you. So some unique features of these headsets. Your A20 are as basic as you can get. No real unique features. It's a headset, you wear it, it has Bluetooth, it has A&R. It's a headset. Unique features. The A30 is packed. The Bluetooth button has 11 different features. You have all sorts of modes for mixing what you want to listen to. It is feature packed. It has a little volume button on the side of the case. If you're looking for a headset that has all the features you could ever want, well, the A30 does it. It has a feature where you can turn off the Bluetooth on one ear cup. It's kind of a listen through mode. You can double tap it. It turns off the A&R, and you can talk to somebody in the cockpit without removing the headset. This is feature packed. This is the fully loaded automobile that you've always wanted. Has every feature known to man. The two David Clark counterparts have lots of features. They're identical to each other. They've got great mix modes for your Bluetooth, but the feature-packed headset winner is your A30. The poorest quality of each one of these headsets we're going to go over because I think that's important. I'll start over here at the A20 since it's the oldest. I think that maybe the poorest quality of this headset, even though it is the quietest and it's very comfortable, is the fact that you have to kind of put a few aftermarket items on it for it to be usable all day long. It has a lot of clamping force, and a lot of people put on a headband different than what came with the headset, and that makes it wearable all day long. You still, at the end of a really long day, you kind of want to take this headset off. You can tell that you've been wearing a headset all day long. Your hair's a little bit messed up. I think the poorest quality of the A20 is its comfort. So having said that, everything's subjective. The Bose A30. The one thing that I would look out for with this headset is sometimes if the ear seals do not conform to your head perfectly, you get what I call a sonic hammer. There's a vibration, a sonic vibration, a sound that you hear that starts to occur. It becomes uncomfortable, and it makes the headset unusable when that's going on. So that is a very specific thing based on how the headset fits your head. It's the only headset that I've ever noticed that with. You can duplicate that condition if when you put on the headset and you turn on the A&R, you can lift the ear cup slightly and you can duplicate that effect. It's the only headset that I've ever seen that with, but it is, in my opinion, the poorest quality of this headset. When you look at your DC 1X, love this headset, most comfortable one I've ever worn, but the poorest quality of this headset is when you're using the intercom or talking to ATC. There's a slight rise in the sound floor. You hear a little bit of wind noise over the communication. The A&R doesn't cut that when you're speaking as well. So you have a slight rise in the sound floor when you're talking or using this headset via the intercom. It is noticeable. It's something that you need to know about this headset. It didn't bother me when I used it, but it's probably, if that were not the case with this headset, this would be the finest headset in the world. But because of that one feature that you hear that sound floor change, it's one of the weaknesses. Maybe in future models they'll get a hold of that, but that's the one thing I'd look out for with this headset. The poorest quality of the Pro X2 Well, due to its nature, due to the fact that it's on top of the ear, this is the loudest headset of the four. So that has to be its poorest quality for me. If having a quiet experience is your top priority, then this probably isn't the headset for you. It is the most lightweight and easy to wear, I think, but it is also the loudest. So there you go. The 4 top headsets on the market today and their pros and cons. I hope this video has been helpful for you to make a decision on which headset you might want to purchase. I appreciate the support from both Bose and David Clark in helping me produce these videos and show you what's out there. Fly safe. Thanks for watching.